Pregame.com.
March Madness 2013 is about here. Time to think about the betting market. Your specialty on the radio show on ESPN here in town, also available on pregame.com homepage. When you're co-hosting, a lot of analysis of the market. What's happened? What does it mean? Also, at pregame.com in the forums, you're doing a daily steam read.
Every day.
Talking about the market, and that's by what, 1:45 Pacific?
Correct.
4:45 Eastern is
Correct.
posted, and getting 2,000 views in your forum thread every day. How is March Madness different than, let's say, February college basketball?
First and foremost, and I say this a lot, but it's worth repeating, it's a time of the season where the markets, it's most saturated with recreational bettors, with casual bettors. And therefore, even though lines are created with the wise guy in mind, when you know that the bulk of the betting action, the money, is going to come from casual bettors, they also have their say. And let's face it.
So one thing in general, so there's always, is the line built to split the action
or the result,
or the split the result?
Right.
And during the more that the casual bettor is involved, more it goes towards the action and away from the result. With the Super Bowl maybe being the most extreme, where it's all about the action as opposed to the result.
Because the volume's so high, and that's where the VIG actually makes you money. In a perfect world, that would happen for every game, but there's just not enough volume to make it worth it. So you factor in a little public perception, you shade the line towards biases, and you get to make your hold a little higher than that 4.5%.
So going against the marquee teams has a little extra built-in value during March Madness.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Now, next up, how about line moves, early moves, game day moves? How do they differ during March Madness?
Okay, that's the key here. If you're going to try to read the market, I think first and foremost you want to pay more attention to the latest moves, and here's why. Early moves, first of all, could be one of two things. Not every sports book is putting out a line first. So when you see the first few books offshore put out the first number, the limits are low. And it's more shaped the line, and then you see it open up across the board. More times than not, most of the betting syndicates, the goal is to get ahead of the market, meaning which way the line's going to move, if you want to get out ahead of it, so
every move, and this is something we talked a lot about when we used to do more videos, is when there's a move, there's likely two reasons. One is a true position.
Right.
You call it true steam.
You love this game. The line's offering you value. It's a side you want to keep.
Other one, you want to get the momentum going because you think the opener came in a little low, or the current number's a little low. You think you give it a nudge, you can get a lower number. Line goes up on the favorite. Usually this is going to be on the favorite. Then you look to buy it back later for a positive EV middle.
Exactly. And the worst case is you have a ticket in your pocket that's 2.5, 3 points better than the close. If you're stuck with it, you could be in a worse position than having 3 points better than the close. And let's not forget, every betting syndicate that I ever worked with or for also takes action. And a lot of times it was bookmakers edging off, knowing.
Edging off, but edging off implies edging off bets they've already taken. Sounds like they're anticipating where the action.
Exactly. Because if I could edge off money that I know my book's going to take 6 hours later, and I edge it off at -2. But when my clients start betting into me, they're betting that same side at -4. Not only did I edge it off at -2, put myself in a position where I could win that bet, but they're laying -4 at 11-10.
And it goes to show, if you play against the opener, you're playing against the bookmaker's number. If you play later, you're playing against the market number. Bookmaker makes a mistake, a syndicate comes in and says, we're going to adjust this. And again, not only do you have that edge off, as you call it, at the better number, but you're forcing them not only to bet 11-10, but at a worse number.
Exactly.
So you're kind of setting the price.
And it doesn't take much to do it, because once the bookmaker realizes, if you've been booking long enough, you know the sides you're going to be heavy on, because you know the teams that get bet each and every night. So if you know you're going to get bet on the New England Patriots, and then one of your guys that you know moves money comes in on the Patriots early as well, you're starting to worry. You're going to move that line a little more, adjust it a little more significantly than you would otherwise, because now not only do you have a sharp client on it, but you know you're going to get public money on it as well, and you don't know if they're going to, that's really a position or not.
Because there's more public money during March Madness, are there more false moves or getting ahead of?
Exactly, because it only takes a little bit of money early on, the 4 significant moves. And let's not forget.
And there's a greater percentage of less sharp people that's going to, 1, play the public teams, and 2, be susceptible to think that move is a sign that that's the sharp side.
Piggybacking it and feeling even more confident. Exactly. And then what happens was, a lot of times, why I think the later moves are stronger during a time like this is because there's some of the truer positions because the line gets knocked out of whack. We know that lines move for 2 reasons, respect or money. And the public bets a lot of money come March Madness, and many times a book doesn't want to be overexposed. So they're going to adjust that line based on that money coming in, and sometimes they adjust it incorrectly, and all of a sudden a team that may not have offered value at +5 does so at +6, 6.5 or so. And you'll see a late steam position, and then let's not forget, today the game's changed so much that's why you have to be cautious, because a lot of times some of the biggest moves don't ever hit the board. They're bet in small increments through local bookmakers once the line gets as high as they want it to.
And that's another whole point is with the per head shops and how there's so many more of them now as a percentage of the overall action. The big smart syndicates can move the line when they want to, and it shows on the screen, and they can get off a lot of money without moving the line at all.
And so many times I'll hear on Twitter or I'll read in the forums, and I'm talking sharp guys who will say, you know, how they lost the play last night and it got steamed so much, you know, it was such the heavy side, and then I'll look and for movers that confirm the total opposite, that they were just so heavy on the opposite side. They did it through locals.
I think in 2013 the screen is even less indicative,
for sure,
as it was in the past.
For sure, and drawing conclusions is dangerous if you don't have a accurate source of information.
All right, guys, good stuff. If you want to follow Vegas Runner on Twitter, it's @VegasRunner. He'll be tweeting this stuff all throughout the tournament. And his Steam read, if you like market reading, is a must-listen every day in the pregame.com forums. You can get all of our videos, pregame.tv. Talk to you soon.